We continue NPR, Northampton Poetry Radio, with our poet laureate emeritus, erstwhile Rich Michelson, who has with him a very special guest, Doug Anderson.
Doug Anderson, a dear friend and one of the Valley's premier poets, been here for a while. Another thing we're very lucky for in this Valley is the wealth of independent bookstores. I mean, you know, you go most places and we don't have this. You are reading tomorrow night, Wednesday, May 29th, in South Hadley at the Odyssey Bookstore, one of the great gems, at 7 p.m. And I encourage everybody to go out. The following Wednesday, May 6th, you will be reading again at 7 p.m. at the Broadside Bookshop in Northampton, our neighbor right here. You know, how great is this? 2 independent bookstores, 2 weeks in a row, Wednesday night at 7. Welcome, Doug Anderson.
Hi, Rich.
Okay.
By the way, Rich is reading with me in both of those readings.
He can't get rid of me, okay? So I will be there. So Doug, your first book, The Moon Reflected Fire, won the Kate Tufts Discovery Award, Blues for Unemployed Secret Police, a grant from the Academy of American Poets. Your memoir, Keep Your Head Down, Vietnam, the 60s, and a Journal of Self-Discovery, is, to my mind, the premier book on the Vietnam War that I've read. I just think it's absolutely incredible. I encourage everyone to get that book. Your new book, just published, Horse Medicine, is out, I think, 2 weeks ago, and it's gorgeous. So my question for you, Doug, is you're really known for your as a war poet, for the Vietnam poems. It's what comes to mind when most people know you. But I know you as probably one of the most diverse poets that I know. You write about jazz, you write about horses, you write about childhood. Does the label of a war poet, is that something you embrace? Is it something you're trying to get rid of?
I'm a poet.
You're a poet.
And you can get ghettoized really easily. You know, and most of what I write now has nothing to do with the war at all.
Mm-hmm. There are a few poems in this book, but most of this book is about horses.
Yes.
This change in your life. Now, you are living in Palmer, where you're Director of Development for Blue Star Equiculture, a horse rescue facility. Tell me a little something about that.
Blue Star Equiculture is an organic farm and horse rescue, and there's some really remarkable, innovative people out there. They have 32 horses, most of which are draft horses. They are the official retirement home for New York police horses and also New York carriage horses. They have a fantastic relationship with the horses. Pam Rickenbach has a sixth sense about horses. She's something of a genius, as is her partner, Paul. They are remarkable people, and I've been hanging around there, helping them out, doing photography, writing for them, and a lot of times just hanging with the horses or carrying sacks of feed or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I've got to know these horses, and it's made a major change in the quality of my life.
Were you a horse whisperer before this?
No. Neither am I one now.
How did you become attracted to this position, to this work? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you're not old, but you're not exactly a youth. A lot of people
mature.
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 Oh,
Yeah, I'm mature.
We're
I'm mature.
We're full of mature people.
Yeah,
here.
like cheese. No. No, I was.
Why
around,
horses at this point in your life?
Good question. It's serendipity. I was driving down Route 181 looking for things to photograph. That's another thing I'm passionate about, and I saw this incredibly large number of mythical-looking horses. Percherons, Belgians, Shires, Clydesdales, and it was such an extraordinary sight. I had to get out of the car and start photographing. And then this tall, graceful woman comes up to me.
There's the link.
Yeah,
there's the link. I know, Doug.
Go no farther. We understand it now.
And she asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm marveling at horses and taking pictures of them. And she said, would you like to go in with them? And I said, sure. So I go into the paddock, and it was a lazy summer day, and the horses were, they would come up to me and sort of commune and nuzzle me, and it was an extraordinary experience, and I've been going back ever since.
Yeah. You're listening to NPR, Northampton Poetry Radio on WHMP. My guest is the poet and photographer, Doug Anderson. Doug will be reading tomorrow night at the Odyssey Bookshop in South Hadley at 7. Be there. If otherwise, he will be reading again the following Wednesday, May 6th, at 7 p.m. at the Broadside Bookshop in our own Northampton. 2 amazing bookstores. We are so blessed here. He will be reading with Richard Michelson, myself, on both occasions. And Doug, give us a poem.
Live myth. I would believe in the unicorn if it stood heaving and slathered, snapping flies off its flank with its tail. It does not smell of sweat and stable, does not snort at the wolf in the brush and twitch its ears. A unicorn does not get dirty, kick up mud when it runs. I know that I would throw my leg over a bareback horse sooner than I'd step into the stirrup of a saddled unicorn. For spite, I'd shoot and slaughter one, roast choice bits over a fire and hang its horn from my belt, just to outrage the legions of tourists of the imagination, the kind who flock to seances or invite Rasputin to tea. A unicorn is impossibly cute. It doesn't fish or rub its rump against a tree, but a horse, my God, can swing its neck around at a dog's yip and break your jaw, can brain you with a hoof. It makes the ground shake. Look at him, the black pool of his eye, muscle rippling along the flanks, and how he stands, placid, chewing, as the little girl lies on top of him, braiding his mane, whispering, my magic, my boy.
That is Doug Anderson, a poem from his book, Horse Medicine, which he'll be reading from tomorrow, April 29th, at the Odyssey Bookshop in South Hadley. The following Wednesday, he will be at the Broadside in Northampton at 7 p.m. And gorgeous book. Doug, just a question that's kind of out of the blue. You have one of the most active Facebook accounts of anybody I've ever met and a incredible audience. You put poems up on your Facebook page that probably reaches a wider audience than books do these days.
Well, it's a way to become ubiquitous, and as poets, we must become ubiquitous. That's how the poems get around. Also, I have a wonderful international community of people on that page. It's sort of like a blog. It's not just a Facebook page, and the threads are amazing.
Yeah.
They just go on and on and on and on. Some very remarkable people contribute to them.
Politics are a big part of it.
Oh, yes.
And as is poetry, and I think that's great. You bring different worlds together. But there's nothing like holding this book in your hands?
True. Oh, absolutely. I prefer the print on the page.
Mm-hmm. It was great seeing you. You were in Minnesota last week. You'll be in New York in a couple of weeks reading. You're in the midst of a book tour. It's just great. And you're also working on a novel, I know, as well. Lots to talk about. Lots to going on. Again, Doug Anderson. NPR, Northampton Poetry Radio, on WHMP. Tomorrow night, Odyssey Bookshop, 7 p.m., Wednesday, May 6th, Broadside Bookstop in Northampton. Doug, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome, Rich.
And we thank all of you for spending some of your day with us. I'm Bill Newman for Rich Michelson and Monty Belmonte and Doug Anderson and myself. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you here back again tomorrow.